Hey everyone, so my first 5 jobs price tag doesn't exist anymore, but when it did, it had some advantages, like being able to work with your friends as employees. I actually met a lot of people that I never forgot. Disadvantages, it had biased rules and it had a hot warehouse in the back. It required some people to work in offices that had no cameras, and often employees were getting raises in this off work hours, non-documented. My second job was Faya's, and the advantages of that job was it was a fresh store opening in the center of a major city, so it had a lot of traffic, so you were able to get a lot of hours. Disadvantages are they were not good at listening. I had a vacation that I had scheduled for the past 3 months, and they were not understanding that I was going to take that. I remember that the manager's name was Brian, and he had a daughter that looked just like him. And when I say just like him, I mean he was a bald man. He had a big head, and so did his daughter. Bald, big head. And it just was like that. No one would mistake that to be your child. That's beside the point. Brian believed that this particular city had only hoodlums working in their store. Not a single person here could be more than that. How do I know that, you may ask? Besides the fact that some of the behavior of the employees would set this man off and you could really see his true colors. But this gentleman, after I let him know that I was going to be moving back to my home state after a failed attempt at going back to school, was only happy for me when he heard I was going to be returning to school, that I would be different than those around me. Little did he know, was I just going back to my home state to figure out my life again. I ended up working, ironically, at Five Guys. Now, I had worked in retail. I had worked in hot spaces before, so this shouldn't be too crazy, right? So I was excited. The advantages were working with friends, being able to move your title on your resume up from just employee to assistant, what was it? Assistant shift lead. And I was able to work 2 jobs in the process. Some of the disadvantages, and I'd say they're pretty heavy, were majority of these employees were teenagers, and they were all doing each other. Trying to ignore that fact, I believe I deserve a reward for. And besides this minor inconvenience in my workday, we also could mention how an entire company had our manager stealing labored hours. And when I say labored, I mean worked, scheduled, done, recorded hours off the computer to try to make it seem like we should not be owed what we are. Side note to that, there was an employee there that actually felt bad for the manager, as if the manager scamming us was not his fault. Now, my 4th job was FedEx. Now, this job was pretty good. It actually paid weekly. It felt like exercise when you were there. You could actually work part-time, which was necessary when you were a new employee, but you also had the option to rise to full-time and other positions. And it also gave union benefits. Obvious disadvantages. I had permanent physical pain that I have endured since working there. My feet took 2 years to recover from working in those work boots that actually were my size. And last but not least, it was interfering with my new job, which is job number 5. Now, job number 5 was Xerox. does not exist anymore. Yet it was the catalyst to the beginning of the rest of my life. Now, Xerox had most of the advantages that the other jobs had, being able to work with your friends and family, being able to get paid training and actually learn of a system that wasn't too complicated. It actually made sense. It applied to real world issues, and you can actually get a lot more of expert hours in. And really the best part for me was being able to calculate how much I could actually get from my independent work. Disadvantages: taxes made overtime a must, making free time 0%.